What's up, guys? How are you? Hope you guys had a chance to watch the new 90 Day Fiance The Other Way episode. It was good. Alright, we're gonna wait on Kara. AJ, hey, Kara. Oh, Kara's here. And we're waiting on Dee Dee. Here, Joette's here. Gang's all here. We accept you guys in.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
How's everybody?
Doing good. Good. How are you doing?
Good. It was really bad weather, so hopefully my connection is gonna stay decent. It was like a really bad storm, so we're gonna see how that goes. But my TV and cable and internet is all good, so I don't know what's going on. But like it was like flooded and everything was crazy. So
No, that's terrible.
it's normal here apparently. So I'm getting used to it.
You're in
So
hurricane season, George, so.
not till tomorrow, I thought. I didn't want no early arrival.
Wait,
Not till tomorrow.
there's a date for hurricane season?
Yeah.
It's
And
August.
it usually starts the July 1st up until the last of November.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I live where there's no hurricanes or tornadoes or anything like that.
Well, hopefully there's none here either. So,
No, bad cold.
so season 5, episode 4. I want to talk about Holly and Wayne first because we watched them go shopping for clothing, and I don't know. So I had some like questions, and I had some like things I wanted to comment on because I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, and she's Jehovah Witness, and we usually compared the two religions because they're very similar. They're not the same. First of all, I want to make sure everyone knows I'm not saying they're the same, but a lot of their beliefs are similar. So it was weird to me that she dresses, okay, so it's going to come out wrong. She dresses the way that she does, but she's a Jehovah Witness.
Yeah.
Like it came across as really odd to me because when I went to church, anything that the girls or women wore in our church, if it didn't look like it was straight out of the Amish community, like you couldn't wear it. Like you couldn't wear pants if you were a woman. You couldn't wear jeans. You most definitely couldn't wear shorts.
Yeah.
It had to be, I called it Amish looking. Hey, Angela, I'm excited to see you on couples retreat. So I can't wait for that. So I was just surprised at how, and I know she said that they both weren't really practicing, like they weren't going to church every week or whatever, but it was just really interesting because Wayne has a really strong like belief of what a woman should be wearing. And it kind of always brings me back to, I hate when men tell women what they should be doing or wearing or doing with their body. I feel like we've grown past that, but I know other countries are not where we are. But I just feel like, religion aside, he said that safety is an issue. Hey, Portuguese princess. Hey, Judy. So he said that it's safety, and he thinks that people would approach her if they thought that she was a prostitute. I want to say the word hooker because when I heard that, it brought me back to Natalie. And Natalie was like, I have a name. It's not hooker. And I was like, oh my God, we're back into this hooker territory. But how do you guys feel about him telling her that it's a safety issue? Do you think, because he made it clear in the confessional, he's just not comfortable with the way that she dressed. He doesn't want her to be on display as a piece of meat. So I don't think it's fully about safety. I think it's more so, that's my woman and I want her to dress appropriately so other people don't feel like she's available. That's kind of how I feel like where he was coming from.
I feel like he approached it okay. I mean, there have been guys on here that just approach it completely wrong. Maybe using the term prostitute wasn't okay, but I don't feel like he was saying you can't wear this. You can't. You can't.
What about him rejecting clothes at the fitting room though? That is kind of like saying, right? Like I feel
but they were like almost her butt cheeks. They were at her butt cheeks. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it. He wants her to be safe, but then again, it's like almost as if he's using that to be able to control what she wears.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's face it. She goes in. They're there to get longer clothing, less revealing. And she goes in the dressing room and comes out in a black dress shorter than the one she was wearing to begin with.
Yeah, I did notice that. I did. I feel like this is going to be just the area of where they're going to clash, because in Holly's mind, the way that she dressed, the way she wears her hair is an expression of who she is. And to Wayne, the way that she dresses and the things that she does is an expression of her love for him, right? I feel like that's where he sees it. It's like, well, if you love me and you are committed to me and you want to be married to me, you wouldn't dress this way. And I feel like in her mind, she dresses the way that she dresses because this is who she is. And
Yeah.
oh wait, she says he doesn't want her titties on display in a different country. I get it. I totally get that.
I agree with that statement because, I mean, I get that he says it's a safety issue and all of that, but when she came out in the one dress that he approved of because it was longer, she had more titties on display than I've ever seen. Like, she next level. So
yeah. So is it like just a level of his comfort of how? Yeah, because I don't know. Because it was more so like, well, it's longer, so you can't see her butt cheeks, but you could see her cleavage. It was all out, and it's like maybe it's his level of comfort. Like I would feel comfortable with her going out wearing that. I think it's more so like if he has guy friends and his guy friends saw what she was wearing, they might say something to him like, "Whoa, you know, she's hot," or "I like the way your wife looks," or "Your wife has a nice rack." I feel like those are compliments that he doesn't want to get for his wife, and I get that. Like as a guy, it's hard to deny that we're very territorial when it comes to the person that we're with. We take ownership, and I know that that's a negative trait, you know, because hey Kim, hey bestie, I know that it's unfair to tell somebody what to do or want to control someone, but as a man, it's kind of in your nature to be territorial. Like you want only that person for you. You only want people to look at that person if you approve of what they're wearing or what they're doing or what. So I feel like I understand where she's coming from, but I don't see how it's going to fly because this is just who she is. Like she wears her hair down to her ankles. You know, like she has very distinctive things about her that she takes pride in the way that she dresses. Because even she said it, she's like, all of my dresses are this length. All of my clothes look like this. Like how is she going to change literally everything about her, because this is who she is.
Yeah, but she only wears dresses also.
Well, I think.
Yeah, but also she needs to take in consideration that she's no longer in her hometown.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to another country. I mean, you gotta somewhat dress what is appropriate over there. You know, not completely change your look, but be respectful.
Yeah, for
Walking around showing your butt cheeks and your U-Haul, you know, hanging out your dress and your boobies about to fall out. I mean, come on. That's not respectful.
I agree with that. And the fact that there's a lot of crime in the area, like break-ins, it means that there's people running rampant in the streets kind of doing whatever they want. So I definitely think, I'm going to text you when I'm done, bestie. I definitely think that safety does tie into that, because there will be times where Wayne will be out working, he's a plumber, and Holly will just be out roaming Johannesburg, right? Like she's just gonna be out shopping, getting food, getting coffee, whatever she wants to do. And there will be times where men might see her, and I see it all the time, even where I live now. Men make comments about women based on how they're dressed, and it's unwanted, unsolicited comments. They definitely aren't looking to interact with anyone, but based on how that woman is dressed, that guy has, in his mind, he thinks he has permission to catcall her or to ask her for her number or to say she's sexy. And so I kind of understand where he's coming from a little bit, because there will be times where they won't be together. He won't be there to stand up for her, because I definitely feel like he would defend her if he was there, but there will be times where he's not going to be there to defend her.
Yeah, definitely.
She's got to be respectful and she's got to be mindful. But I think he's using that to be able to control her a little bit as well.
I agree. I feel that way, because I love to say this about people. It's like when you met her, you knew that that was the way that she dressed. And that's kind of what attracted you to her. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I want you to change this. So I was like, but in actuality, that is what initially attracted you to that person. So the fact that you want them to change what caught your attention, that always bothers me. Because I was like, if they didn't dress that way, she might not have caught your attention to the amount of you pursuing her. So it's like what attracted you to her bothers you in the end. Right. And I hate that because it's like, how dare you fall in love with someone, find them beautiful, love the way that they look and dress, and that was enough for you to show interest. But then once you have that person and they're yours, then you want to take that away from them. I hate that. It's like, don't change people, especially traits that you originally liked. It's like as time went on, you just decided you didn't want them to look that way anymore. That's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, not.
Different countries have different views on things with their bodies and clothing. Wouldn't her mom be happy to cover up considering she's religious? Okay, so Portuguese princess, that's a good point because her mom was there.
Yeah.
And her mom is very religious. She's actually there because she's a chaperone, because they aren't supposed to do anything sexual before they get married. She's literally there to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's a good point. The mom was there, and she didn't really have much to say objectively about what her daughter was wearing. So how do we feel about that?
Yeah, and the mom even said, when he said, I don't like this dress, she says, I picked that one. Or
right.
Holly picked that one. Whatever. It was, I was pretty shocked by that.
Well, it's interesting to me because her mom is even more religious than she is. Her mom is still very active in the church. And I know Holly and Wayne aren't as active as they should be in their religion, but the mom is definitely still going to church. She's still practicing. So the fact that she didn't have anything to say, like she wasn't on Wayne's side, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like she wouldn't back up Wayne. She was still backing up Holly, which was just odd to me because I was raised in the church and I know the girls were just told they couldn't do anything. They couldn't wear anything. They couldn't wear pants. They couldn't wear shorts. They couldn't anything that would have put them on display or show that they were beautiful in any way. It was just forbidden. Yeah. Like that's just literally how the rules were. It was unfair though because as a boy, I could wear shorts. I could wear jeans. I could wear t-shirts. I could wear a wife beater. We could go outside and play basketball without a shirt on. Nothing affected us. But for the women and the girls in our church, it affected them deeply. It literally changed how they could present themselves to the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah.
So it happened. We knew that it was going to happen, but it happened tonight. Danielle and Johan are back. And I'm not saying that we were looking forward to it, but we did get a little information on the meat shop, the butcher shop, because I know we've been wondering about this since we saw the kind of grand opening of it, and the meat was just kind of there. There was no like coolers, there was no like sneeze guards, there was just flies everywhere, and we were just like, this looks like a salmonella outbreak. You know, like we were really worried.
I was looking for weight loss, that parasite I wanted to get. I found where I could get it.
Wait, you found where you can buy a parasite?
No, Johan's meat shop. I could have got a parasite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just go get a steak or a ribeye and boom, you got a parasite right then and there. It's like buy one get one free. Buy the steak, get the parasite for free, right? Exactly. I felt like that was the selling point. So the story is the landlord needed the space back and Johan never signed a lease. I don't believe that for like 5.5 seconds. I know the fact is he didn't make any money because he was selling meat that was no good. Yeah. Right? Like that's definitely what happened.
For sure.
Either that or he got tired of listening to Danielle bitch about it all the time.
Yeah, that too. Because all the money from everything has to come from her pocket. That was her complaint tonight. She was like, everything that we do has to come from me. And Johan isn't working. And he hasn't been working
always
since.
Complaint. That is always her complaint. It's always money.
Which I kind of get because I feel like Johan looks at Danielle as a sugar mama. That's the only like in my
he married her. Now it's their money. That was her dumb mistake.
Yeah, exactly. It's their money, and I think that the relationship was one of those swank pank relationships, right? Where he was in the hotel and he met with what he thought perceived to be a wealthy American woman. Boy, was he wrong. And he fell in love with her, you know, swept her off her feet, and he was under the impression that he was going to be set for life. Because she did tell us shortly after they met, he stopped working at the hotel.
Yeah.
And then every time that she was in town, she was buying stuff. She was buying stuff for his family. She was feeding them. She was throwing parties. Everything was her. So when she acts brand new and is like, well, why am I having to pay for everything? I'm like, you are the sugar mom in this relationship. Everybody can see that. The fact that you can't see that is very confusing to me. You're with a guy who, I don't want to say like is out of her league or whatever, because that's not the case. She's a very beautiful woman, but he definitely was looking for a woman to take care of him, right?
Her personality makes her so not beautiful. He is so far out of her league, but her personality makes her just, I can't even.
Yeah, I don't even like to listen to her talk. I mean, here comes the punch in the face stuff. I mean, it's just, every time I hear her talk, I just want to punch her in the face. Like, shut up. Like, I mean, what did she expect? She went over there. She was throwing all this money around. She was painting a picture that was not even nowhere near greener on the other side.
Thank you.
So, I mean, what did she expect?
Yeah.
Now, let's not forget that Johan wanted to come to the United States and work. That was what she originally promised him.
Yep.
Then she changed her mind because there was an issue with her bankruptcy and she didn't need to stay in the U.S. because it would have been, well, if she would have kept working here, they would have just taken her money because she would have gotten a judgment lien against her. It wouldn't have been her money. So in order for her to continue to make money, that plan changed. But he did want to come to the U.S. and work. So I feel like when he found out that that wasn't going to happen, he's like, well, I'm not working now. Like, I feel like since you lied to me, you dangled over my head that I was going to be able to work and make a good living and help my family. Now it's going to be your responsibility to take care of me. I feel like that's exactly where he is. And I think that the fact that he's staying home and letting her do that, that's kind of what the plan was going to be. And the fact that she thinks that they were going to move to his country where he makes literally pennies on the dollar and he was going to work and take care of her makes no sense to me. Like, literally no sense to me. If he could live in a $3,000 apartment, because remember last season, she was looking at an apartment that was about $3,000 a month, which wasn't even nice. It didn't even have a walk-in closet. Yeah. But she was under the impression that he was going to move into that and pay half of it. And I was like, he's been living with his family. He's well into his 20s, okay, mid-late 20s. He's living with his family with like 13 people. Do you think if this man could afford $3,000 a month, he would be living with like 20 people in a tiny ass house? Like, where was her brain? What was she thinking?
Well, it's gonna be even worse now. Her freaking dollar store clip-ins, and I mean, I can't.
Them. I don't know what the heck she got going on with that hair, but
it's the best top ramen I have ever.
I heard that it's Miona's ponytails. That's what they were saying on Twitter.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. It's Miona's ponytails.
From Miona, but Miona's stuff is really nice. I feel like whatever the hell Danielle had on tonight was not Miona's.
It's not.
She ain't making, if that's Miona stuff, she ain't making Miona stuff look good. No. She's making it look bad.
Miona has.
I can't prove. I just want to say I can't prove that it is. That's just what people said on Twitter. I don't know if that's true.
It is. They did a live together and all that stuff, and she was promoting Miona and all of that stuff, and it was great. But Miona does a lot of hair things on Instagram, and her hair is really nice. She has all the nice stuff. Whatever the hell Danielle was wearing tonight was like top ramen gone bad. It was horrible. I just can't.
But my question is, how is it that she's got out of paying bankrupt just because she moved to the Dominican Republic? Whether you in the United States or in another country, you still have to pay your bankrupt. How are you going to bankrupt on a bankrupt?
Well, I don't know. What I was under the impression is when you get a lien against you, they go to the county where you live and they file a motion to attach your job. And then your job will then deduct part of the lien out of your check.
So what you're saying is she didn't pay her bankrupt. She ain't paid nothing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, Lord.
Because I don't think that they can go to the Dominican Republic and file in that county for an American lien to take from her paycheck. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way because it's so if she was to come back here and to get a job and they would give her like a W-2 form, they would be able to attach that job to the lien against her. But since she's not here, I don't believe that you can do that. So, I mean, if she ever does come back here, that lien will be waiting for her. It doesn't go away. Right. But as long as she's making money in another country, they can't take it from her.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it's messy. It's really messy, right?
So she's not this honest person that she's trying to make people think she is. She's a crook. She's a crook and she's a liar.
Yeah. Well, she said that she's had over 5 businesses in her lifetime, and I was just wondering, like,
how?
She didn't say. I don't know, because she didn't say like there's 5 of them now. She said had. Had means that they're no longer in.
Okay, well, she's had 5 different businesses, and she's talking about Johan don't know how to run a business. Johan has only opened 1 business, and the only reason why he supposedly lost it was because the rent man wanted it back for an office space.
Yeah.
But she knows how to run a business, but she doesn't have either one of them. Other than supposedly an online yoga thing.
Yeah, she's supposedly doing 3 things, she said in her car. Like, I mean, how much money can she be making, really, doing these online yoga classes and stuff?
That's a good question. I was wondering that, too. Like, how much are people paying? Like, do you think you pay per session? Do you pay, like, per week? Like, I was wondering that, because yoga, can't you just go, like, to your local gym and take a yoga class? Yeah, I thought so. It's not, like, something...
Do it at your house. I mean... It's all you're doing is stretching, pretty much.
You know, and the other thing she said that got me is when she was talking to the friend, she said that Johan wants a gym, because he mentioned that. He wants his own gym and all that. And then she thinks they could be business partners, and then they can work together. You're already together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're already holding everything over his head. I'm sure the last damn thing he wants is you and his freaking gym. When he wants a gym, he didn't mean I want us to have a gym. He meant I want my gym.
See, when I was watching them interact tonight, I felt like we were watching 2 people who can't stand each other pretend to like each other because they wanted that TLC check.
Yep.
Did y'all get that vibe? Like how fake she was when she walked in and she's like, "Hi, sweetie." And I was just like, this is so fake, because we know how they interacted with each other at that tell-all for the last show. So I was like, this is so fake. This is like, they got to get through the however many episodes is in their contract, and you know that they can't stand each other. And the fact that they're pretending, I was just like, this is like the fakest thing.
And before this season came out, she was on Instagram every day bashing him.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. And then
saying how she was
saying that the only reason why he was saying on the tell-all that he wanted a divorce is because he wanted her to feel embarrassed, like he was embarrassed with her bringing her ex in the picture. But we all know that he hates her.
Oh,
and they're together. And after she was talking about how he abused her physically, cheated on her, and all this other stuff. And then they're going to come on the show and act like everything is fine. Come on.
They not fooling me. Like, I know.
They sure enough ain't fooling me.
I know that the show is a nice amount of money, and Johan and Danielle see dollar signs.
Yep.
And if they have to tolerate each other, this is kind of like how we're going to be watching Kalani and Asuelo on this Last Resort. We know what's going on with them.
Yep.
But we know the check for that show, it got their attention, because I was like, yo, y'all can't sit here and tell me that y'all are going to work it out, because I know you're not. Like, you're not going to sit here and tell me that, but you're going to play like you are long enough to get that check. That's what we're watching.
I just don't know why.
They're on Last Resort, so if we see them on anything else after this, after they break up in real life again, like, they don't have the chance to go on another show. We're done with them.
Done.
I still have a question. Why in the hell is Ed and Liz on there? Like, why?
I agree.
Oh, so off topic, I did see something yesterday that said that they were broken up. So I saw like it was text messages, like screenshots of text messages, and Ed said he was single. So maybe they really broke up on the show. I don't know. I don't follow either one of them because they irk me. So I don't follow either one.
Same state, the same country. There's nothing before the 90 days about them.
Oh well, yeah. They were never supposed to be on happily. I think they were on happily ever after, right?
Yeah, never.
And they weren't even married.
No.
So I don't know.
From a different country. I mean, they both American, so why?
Yep.
I mean, just saying.
Yep.
All right, so I want to talk about Armando's mom, right? So I'm going to get up some flack for this because this is kind of how I felt earlier, so I'm just going to say it. So is it me, or are we seeing a lot of, like, moms being a little toxic?
Yeah.
Like, I think we saw a little bit of it with Julio's mom and then Armando's mom. I feel like, why are moms not, like, supportive of their sons anymore? And, like, what their sons want and them being happy. Like, I know that as a mom, I'm not a mom, but I was a mama's boy. So I know that it's hard to watch your children, you know, make stupid decisions or make mistakes. I get that. But when they're like 30, like Armando's 34 years old, right? He moved to be with Kenny one time. Now Kenny is trying to convince him to move. Apparently it's a 4-day drive from where his mom lives, which is insane. I totally understand that. But I don't like the way his mom laid on the guilt trip. And she's just like, oh, well, you're going to make me suffer. You're going to put me through all this pain. I just don't like it. I feel like, where's the support? When did families become so non-supportive of each other? Yeah. And I think I've really seen it firsthand watching this franchise. Families really go out of their way to not support each other and to go against what people are doing. And, oh, wait, Edith says it's Hispanic culture. So Armando did say that in his culture, his life, he's supposed to always live to please his mom and his family. And at what point are you just grown and you should just be able to make yourself happy? Like, is that all Hispanic culture? Is that just certain parts of, wait, is it really?
Yes. Yeah.
Like
the children are supposed to do everything to please the parents at all times.
No matter how old you are?
No matter how old you are.
Even when they have kids of their own?
Yep.
Wow.
See, I don't like that.
And then they raise their kids to make the grandparents happy. Yeah.
Crazy.
So your happiness is secondary to your parents?
Pretty much.
Like forever?
Pretty much.
See, I hate that. I feel like at some point you just have to support your children because you love them. Like, if your child comes home with a tattoo, you're going to be pissed off, and then you're going to just say, well, at least you can cover it with a sleeve. You know, at some point you just have to accept that they're going to make their own decisions, and if it made them happy, that should make you happy. You know, like, I hate the way the parents make especially the sons, but I guess it goes both ways. Like, they make them feel guilty or bad for making a decision that would make them happy. Yeah. And I don't like this level of non-supportive parenting that we're just, I guess I didn't realize it was a cultural thing. Even in Portuguese culture as well. So yeah, it's definitely saturated in the community. I feel like Armando was like, there was a time in my life when I was coming out and he was like, I didn't have the support of my family. They didn't make me feel accepted and loved. And that's why I left the first time. I went to where my support was. And I felt like family does that a lot. Family will want you around, but not support you. And then when you decide to move on and do better things for yourself, they'll be upset and be disappointed in you. And I'm like, but when I was trying to get the support from you, I didn't get it. So when I had to go out and get the support from somewhere else, now you're offended by my actions. Yeah. You know, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. And I was just like, if Armando, Armando doesn't even want to move to Mexico City. So I think we're getting a little past the point. He doesn't even want to do it. But I feel like the fact that even if it was on the table, his mom should have said, hey, that's really far. I'm going to miss you. But if that's what makes you happy, I would love for you to be happy. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah. But I was happy for him. I mean, it broke my heart when he started crying, but he finally got to tell her all of his feelings. And I feel like that was the first time he's ever been able to say all of that. So I was like, you tell her. That was good.
Yeah, because, I mean, whenever he first come on 90 Day Fiance, and he was telling his story. His mom and dad did not show him any kind of support, especially his dad. I mean, his dad just pretty much turned his back on him, you know?
They didn't even know if his dad was going to show up to the wedding until the day of the wedding. That is the level of support. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad he finally got a backbone and stood up to her, because she wanted to try to play the victim tonight.
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to do that? I mean, you jumped on an airplane to fly over there. Why you can't do it again if you want to visit a different time?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that she wanted him to live with them forever, because I know when he met Kenny, they were all living on the same property.
Yeah.
And I feel like she wanted him to stay there forever. But again, this is probably his culture, where do they stay with their parents forever, like together, or is that just something he was doing in his culture?
They try now in Mexico. I can't talk about other, countries, but in Mexico, they usually all still live together, or they buy a big piece of land and they live on the same land.
Oh.
They live walking distance from each other.
Wow.
Even the Hispanics that I know here, they try to keep the family as close as possible.
Mm.
Wow.
So moving forward, a 4-day drive away is unheard of in their culture.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a little bit too far for them. For me, that's a skip and a hop. Yeah. So I blink my eyes in 4 days.
For me, if my family is not at least a 4-hour plane ride away, that's too close for me. Like for me, if my family could get in the car and drive here, I gotta move somewhere farther away. Like you would have to get on an airplane. Like that's too close for comfort for me. I love my family from afar, and they love me from afar, and we have a mutual respect. And when they want to come visit, they call me and they tell me when they want to fly in, and I approve or deny.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that culture. I think it's beautiful. I think family is beautiful, and having people that are there for you is beautiful. But again, support is more important to me. Like supporting me and giving me motivation to do things and just being positive.
Yeah.
Like I think that's more important than having family close by, because you can have family right next door and they will be negative all the time, right? They will be so negative to your goals and your dreams. They will be absolutely no support to you at all. They'll be right next door. They might even be in the same house, and they're doing nothing for you mentally to help you move forward. So I think that having them close is great, but having their support is better. And like you said, Armando finally got to say, look, you weren't supportive of me. You weren't there for me when I needed you guys when I was coming out. You guys acted as though I wasn't a part of your family. So it's like, now that I have a family, I built my own family, and we love each other and support each other. Please don't tell me what we can and can't do. And I agree with that.
Yep. I was very, very happy you got to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he finally got a backbone. But he did help me prove a point tonight that I was telling y'all the truth about Mexico City. If you have to hide your money like he did, I mean, you had to they made a pocket in the rug, or the whatever you call them, thingamajiggers in the floor in the car, y'all know my English goes,
the floor mat.
Yeah, that's what you call it. You know that if you got to do that, come on.
That is extreme. And then his mom said that she's only been there once before, and she felt like
got robbed.
Yes, and she felt like her purse was going to get stolen, and she was just scared. So you have proven that point, that it is very dangerous. I think that Kenny wants the closest thing that's going to remind him of being in Tampa, Florida. And I think Mexico City is going to look and feel the most like Tampa, but it's not Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Like the crime rate is so much higher. And I think where they are in Les Miserables, I think it's much safer, and it's a better, and I thought they bought that condo. Like it's a better place. It's accepting. They don't have any issues being a same-sex couple. I just think that they are 4 hours away from his family. So if they do need to interact with the family, you can drive there in 1 day, less than 1 day. Like, I don't know. I just feel like moving to Mexico City is too ambitious for them. And I feel like if they were to do it, it might jeopardize their relationship. I feel like it might be a strain that they're not capable of withholding, like keeping it together. Because I feel like Armando and him, this is like the one subject where they really do clash. They really do. They really argue. Because we don't ever see them argue. We know that they get along well. They love each other. There's no issues. This is the one thing where I feel like they're never going to see eye to eye.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Armando is going to cave and just do it. I think they're going to end up there.
But why is my question? They have a beautiful home in La Mission. I mean, they have an ocean view.
Yeah.
Why would you want to change an ocean view
for
concrete?
I don't, right? I don't. And also jeopardizing your safety and Hannah's safety. Hannah has to go to school. What if there's no buses? Hannah would have to walk on the streets to get back and forth. Like, why would you want to go through that when they're in such a safe community?
Kenny's retired, first of all. So he'll be taken to and from school. Armando's going to do it for two reasons. He's going to do it to stick it to his mom, and he's going to do it to make Kenny feel like he owes him something so that he'll adopt the baby.
That's true. That's true. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
If he gives in and say, okay, well, we'll do this for you, and then he's going to say, well, now I want something from you, and then you kind of have to cave in, because when you make someone compromise well beyond their comfort level, you do feel like you have to go out of your way to make that better. I do feel like that.
The obligation is huge.
I mean, maybe that's the plan all along. I think that they're probably being too ambitious with the baby thing, though. Like, I feel like
I agree.
Neither one of them. And I know Armando's only 34 years old, but a baby, though.
I think that's the only reason Armando would say yes to moving.
Why do you want to raise your baby in a dangerous place? Yeah. Right? Like,
babies are the best, one of the best gifts that you could ever have. You know, kids are. But no. I don't.
Yep.
I want them so I can spoil them and then send them home. Yep. I don't want no more of my own. Yep. I love babies, don't get me wrong. I love me some babies. I love all the loves, the hugging, the kisses, you know, slobber and all. I love it. But I want to be able to send them back home.
Well, Kenny has grandbabies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to have their own. You know, book a nice little trip to Tampa and go see the grandbabies and take them to the Disney World, you know, take them to the Sea World. And then you get back on that plane and head back to Mexico to your home with Hannah, because Hannah's about to be a teenager. You don't have to deal with none of that baby stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're being a little ambitious with that. And I think that they should do an on-the-job preview with the baby. You remember when we were in school, they would give you like a little baby and it cried? Like an on-the-job preview to teach us how bad it was. I don't think they do that now.
Yeah.
They should. That's what they should do. They should get like a little baby and keep it for a day or two. I don't know how that works, you know, logistically. But like just so they can see the amount of work that they're putting in. Because Armando was living with his entire family on one property with Hannah and her mom. So Armando probably didn't lift very many fingers when it came to raising her when she was a baby. I'm just going to say that. Having a grandmother, his mom, right there on the property, he probably didn't do much at all. So I think that he's being really ambitious, thinking that he's going to be raising a baby with just Kenny. And Kenny is about to be, what is he, 59 years old, I believe?
60, I think.
60, yeah. I don't think Kenny is going to be alive.
That's way too old to be having a baby.
I know.
I mean,
that's the perfect.
You got to cut it off at a certain age.
That's the perfect grandpa age where you spoil them, you bring over presents, you take them out for the afternoon, and then you drop them back off, right? Yep. That's the perfect age to do that. That's not where you want to be changing diapers at 60 years old.
Getting up every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Like
around the clock. No. I don't miss those days.
Me either.
So Julio has introduced Kirsten to his whole family, and his whole family was grilling her, and she found out that it's a possibility that he does not want to live with her. He wants to move all the way to the Netherlands on the other side of the world, but there's an actual possibility where he wants to live separately. But I don't think he really does. I think what I've noticed with Julio is he listens to other people's opinions because he doesn't really have an opinion. Yeah. And whatever people say to him, he kind of goes along with, because his friend was like, oh, well, y'all have fought before, so how do you know you can live together? Like, oh, I don't know, mind your damn business. Like, how about they lived together for 2 months already? How about it was his idea to move all the way over there, because he let his family and friends make it seem like Kirsten was the one who's pulling him away when he was the one who decided to move to her. And the fact that he didn't correct them really irritated me, because she's sitting there feeling attacked and interrogated, and all he has to do is say, well, no, she didn't actually pressure me to move to the Netherlands. She didn't, this isn't her idea, it was my idea. It was never an option for her to come here. We never discussed it. I never asked her. But then sit at that table and say, it probably would be a good idea for her to come over here for a few months. Since when? When was this, when did this happen other than just now and someone put that thought into your head? You need to be a free thinker. And I think that Julio is not a free thinker. Whatever people tell him to do sounds good and he goes with it. That is not going to fly. You want to marry Kirsten? Here's an idea. Do what you said you were going to do with her and stop listening to other people. Because at this point, she's ready to get a plane ticket back home and say, screw this. Because why is she in New Jersey right now trying to figure out and meet the family of a man that she doesn't even think wants to live with her at this point? Like, why is she even there? She has made it very clear America is not her dream. She doesn't want to be here. And then when he walks out of the house, he's like, oh, look, that's a gunshot. That's a bullet hole where the person across the street from me got shot. And then he's like, do you want to stay here for a few months? Hell no, she doesn't want to stay here. She probably wants to leave now.
Yeah. I
wouldn't even want to stay there. Who wants to stay in a place where you can be standing in your own house and get shot?
No one. Yes, no one. Thank you. No one. No. He literally said his mom was standing in the kitchen 15 minutes later. Literally. And she said in her country, you can't even have a gun. Yeah. So this is unheard of, right? Like, to see that you could be sitting minding your own business and get shot in your own home while trying to cook your breakfast is completely insane. And then to say, hey, well, why don't you stay here and see if you want to, you know, stay here instead of where you live? Why would she want to do that? First of all, you went over there, you liked it, you said to her, I would come here. Why are you changing your mind? I can't stand flip-flop people. Yeah. Like, why are you changing your mind? You let her get on a plane, fly all the way over here under the impression that you were okay with it. And now somebody puts some doubt in your head, and now she feels like she's wasting her time because you literally don't know what you want to do now.
Yep. I lost all respect tonight.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with Julio, or whatever you want to call him, but I'm not happy with him right now.
Yeah.
I can't stand the way that he treats the women in his life. The way that he treats them, he doesn't tell them the truth, and then when he does tell them the truth, he does it in such a hurtful way. Yeah. Like the way that he left this information out in front of her and a random friend that she's never met, and he's making it seem like, oh, I'm going to take this person's advice over yours. This my family, or this my friend. These people are more important to me. I'm going to take what they feel to heart, even though they've been talking for over a year, never had this conversation, never even made her feel like it was a possibility that they couldn't get along. And it's like,
he keeps putting her on the spot. You answer the question. You answer the question. You need to talk more. You need to, like, stop that shit. She doesn't need to answer your the questions that are being asked to you. That's your family. You answer those freaking questions. You're the one that didn't have the balls to tell him. That's his.
And he didn't even have the enough respect for her to even defend her whenever they were asking the questions, and he was gaslighting her tonight. Absolutely. You know, let me be in a relationship with someone and their family try to disrespect me and they don't stand up for me. Well, I'm going to punch you in the face and I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk out, and that's the end of that. Because if you're going to allow that, you know what I'm saying? Because first of all, I've got a really bad temper sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm very short circuit. Yep. And if you're going to sit there and let anybody, I don't care who it is, friends, family, a total stranger, if you're going to let them disrespect me or try to gaslight me, and you're going to sit there and you're going to be on their side, you're going to defend them, well, then you can stay there with them. I don't need you.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
I think that she's really seeing a different side of him. When he's around his friends and his family, he's a different person. And the way that he's so easily influenced by other people. He knows what he wants, but then when he hears what other people question what he wants, he questions himself.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a scary situation to be in. You're in a relationship with someone who doesn't know what they want. They can be influenced in either direction by literally anyone. I think that she should run, right? I feel like she should run.
Yeah.
Yes. Get on an airplane, get on the next airplane, and go back home. Yep. He ain't worth it.
There is no reason why she should be dealing with what she's dealing with. And then first hearing about it, too. And I feel like he's good for that first hearing about it. Their family hears about her 3 weeks before she arrives. Then she arrives. She first hears, oh, maybe we shouldn't live together. She keeps getting all this new information. He just drops new information on people. And only because he has to, only because he doesn't want to drop the information on anyone. It's because it comes out and there's no other choice. And he has to drop that information, and then they're trying to deal with the fact that he's flip-flop. Like, he's just, I don't know. I'm very bothered by him and the way he treated his own mom. Like, not telling her what was going on, and she knew. He's calling her on FaceTime from the Netherlands, lying to her. Well, not lying, but she's like, who's that other person? Oh, just my friend. Nobody.
Yeah.
I just feel like he moves, the way he moves, I just don't like, right?
Yeah, he's hateful.
Well, whenever she found out that he had not even told his family about her, she should have got on the plane then and went back home.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he sat there and said in front of his mom that he didn't say anything because he didn't know that that they were going to work out, that they were legit. How are you not knowing that y'all were legit or going to work out when you lived together for 2 months and then you invite her to come over? You've been talking for a year and you're still not sure, and then you're talking about doing your residency in the Netherlands, moving over there with her, and then now you saying that you don't know if you want to live with her, you may want to live separate. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I agree.
That's too much. That right there just gave me whiplash.
Yeah.
So
yeah. He's got no clue what he wants, he's already applied for citizenship, by the way.
Yes.
But has no clue if he even wants to live with her. Like, I don't understand him at all, and I feel like he doesn't understand himself. I feel like there's a lot going on in his mind, and it's just racing craziness, right? I feel like it's just so off the wall, wishy-washy with this guy.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then he was talking about that they could have their own homes, like separate apartments, but he still wants to sleep in the same bed with her. So what you're saying is you want to be a free man over there, but you want to have a booty call?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too, because if he has his own place, he could also bring other girls home, right? Yeah. That's the only difference, because what's the difference? The only difference is if you live together, you can't bring anybody else home because she'll know. But if you live separately, you could say, oh, I'm busy tonight, and you could go out and do your single man stuff, and she won't know what you're doing because you have a separate place of residence. That's what I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what he's thinking about, but if you can't live with somebody, what's the point of moving to another country to be with them? You know, like, if you just want to be friends, just be friends. You know, if he wants to move to the Netherlands, then move to the Netherlands and leave her out of it. She doesn't own the Netherlands. He can still move there if he wants to, but don't make her think you're moving there for her if you just want to live there.
Yep.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Now, as soon as I would have found out that he was keeping me a secret, I would have left.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no reason. Okay, so Brandon and Mary. So Brandon has arrived in, where are they at? I keep getting this wrong. The Philippines. Brandon's arrived in the Philippines, and he meets Mary's grandfather, grandmother, and brother. And he doesn't tell the grandfather. The grandfather kind of asked about, like, what did you do when you saw her? And, you know, he didn't lead on to what actually happened. But we actually find out that there won't be any hanky-panky because Mary does not want to be intimate with him until she's married. But we actually found out she doesn't really want to be intimate with him at all, right? Because we noticed when they went into the bedroom, because, okay, so they're on the FaceTime call 24/7, and they're using the bathroom on the FaceTime call. They're having phone sex, but when they get into the bedroom, they can't even change clothes in front of each other. She leaves the room, so they change separately, and then she's got him sleeping this way on the bed, she's sleeping that way, and there's this really weird nervousness and like feeling of uneasy being around each other. What's going on? I'm confused. Why is this? Because they've clearly been doing things on the phone. What's going on?
So she talked a big game, and now she's scared.
And he gonna find out that she's not a virgin.
Yep.
Well, wait, she doesn't know that he's not a virgin?
No, she knows that he's not a virgin, but he thinks she's a virgin,
Oh,
and we all know
I
he's not a virgin.
Yeah, because I was like, I think she knows he's not. But, another question. So this house, right? This is his house because the grandparents' house was destroyed in a typhoon and they're living in his house. So he has to ask them permission to sleep in a room of his own home?
Yeah,
is that what was going on?
That's weird.
Yeah, because I would have been like, look, this is my house, you know?
Well, yeah, he paid for the house. He said that he sent between 40 and 60K for the house. Also, can we talk about the bug situation? So I saw some spiders that were basically the stuff nightmares are made of. Like I saw some spiders and I saw some lizards that looked too big to be around people. Yeah. And there was just, what's up with this bug situation? And she made the comment, this isn't America, this is the Philippines, we don't live that. What is the deal with bugs though? Isn't it how your house is built? Because I'm pretty sure if you just seal it off really well, bugs can't really get in. I don't know, I've never built a house. But she made the comment as though this is a normal thing for homes in the Philippines. Why don't they seal the houses better to keep the bugs out?
Especially when you paid as much for it as you did. Like, it should have been perfect.
Yeah, it should have been a freaking mansion. Yep. Like, central heat and air and all.
Yep.
Well, I'm positive that the money that he sent, barely half of it actually went to that house. Like, I'm almost positive. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm pretty sure that's probably a $15,000 house. And then the other, like, if that, right? And then the other, like, $15,000, $20,000 got spent somewhere else. I don't know where, because I didn't see, like, a whole bunch of crazy nice stuff. She did have a nice TV and setup or whatever, but we're not talking $20,000 worth of stuff, right? I haven't seen where the money went specifically, but I don't think it went into the house. No. I'm just going to be honest with you. I was expecting for $40,000 to $60,000 at least a couple of floors. I was at least gonna see some sealed off roofs, windows, a few floors, and she said that they don't have hot water. They did have running water, but they don't have hot water. So I'm just gonna say for 40 grand you're gonna have hot water, right? I think a hot water heater, it's like $8,000, right? I'm pretty sure you can get a hot water heater in your house. It might even be cheaper than that. It's been a minute since I bought one, but I'm pretty sure it was like $8,000.
I just bought a hot water heater and it was $500.
Wait, how? Did you install it yourself?
A hot water heater? It was $500.
But how? I had to pay someone to install it though. How did?
Oh, we installed it. It took
you
10
did
minutes.
It yourself?
It takes 10 minutes. You unscrew the things on the back, pull it out, put the new one in, screw the things back on, and you're good to go.
Oh, so we're talking about like $500. Okay, so she didn't spend the money on the house like she said she did. I'm waiting to see like what the money was spent on. Oh, the brother was driving a car. I did notice that. So maybe they bought the car with the money because the brother went and got him from the airport, and they were driving a car.
He doesn't live there with him, I thought. He lives with his girlfriend and their kids because they disowned him because he had children outside of marriage.
Interesting. Okay, well, I don't know.
That's what they said last week.
Yeah. But that's not to say that she didn't give him the money for it.
Well, I mean, yeah, true, but
I don't know. Nothing's adding up there at all.
I don't know. So that that whole situation was something, but the problem with me, I was just like, the fact that she acts like she doesn't want to touch him. Because I think I talked about this before. I was like, what if he built them a house and he funded their life for the past 4 years or whatever? And not 4 years, I'm sorry, 2 years. And what if she decides to just get rid of him? That's their house. They got all of this money and support from him. What if she just decides that she doesn't want to be with him and sends him back? Because that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, well, he paid for the house, but it's not in his name. He can't have it. All of the money that he sent to support them, he can never get back. What if she just decides when he gets there, she doesn't want him and she tells him to go back home? What is he supposed to do? Like, where is he supposed to go? Because he's there with no money. He spent all of the money that he had sending it to them. Like, what would be the plan if she decides that, you know, like, he's not what I wanted? Or maybe she was using him the whole time. Maybe he was never what she wanted. Maybe she never was attracted to him. Maybe she was talking to him and keeping him locked in because the money was getting sent regularly. Like, I don't know what the deal is. And when she wouldn't touch him and she acted like she didn't even want to lay next to him, it really hit me hard. I was like, there's something fishy about this situation. The fact that she didn't even want to like look over and see his face. She had his face all the way on the other side of the bed. That's weird.
Yeah, she has a guilty conscience about something. I think she doesn't want him to figure out she's not a virgin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
I could be wrong, but
would he be able to figure it out though?
I mean, I would think so.
You would know that?
Yeah.
He's not a doctor.
You don't have to be a doctor.
George, do we need to have a phone conversation after the
Maybe
live?
we should talk about that.
Explain it to you?
Yes.
Maybe we should, because I didn't realize that you would just know right away.
A man knows when a woman is not a virgin.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that.
Okay, George, have you ever heard the term pop your cherry?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. When he goes and there's no cherry, done deal. Here's your sign.
Is it like obvious that that's what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very.
Okay. Interesting.
He would know.
Yeah. If a guy is with a girl or woman, claims they're a virgin, then that cherry's going to get popped. And if the cherry don't get popped, then they weren't a virgin.
Well, maybe Brandon wouldn't know. I don't know. Like he's kind of naive. Like, right, Pineapple, I think he's kind of naive. So it's very possible that she could say it happened and it didn't. I don't know. I don't feel like he's very perceptive. I don't know. I feel like he's not necessarily someone who notices everything.
He probably, I mean, him being him, he probably wouldn't notice. He seems very oblivious to a lot of things.
Well, right. I feel like he's definitely someone who misses things.
Not underwear to accentuate his bulge.
Right. Thank you.
When the underwear come off, don't you think that it's going to be like, lies? That was all lies.
Right.
All he had to say was the water was cold.
Yep.
Well, what is it? Another thing, what does the bulge matter if they were actually going to do the deed?
That's
Wouldn't she? Yeah, like, wouldn't she just know? Because you're going to do what does the appearance matter, right? Because you're going to, I don't know. That was confusing to me too. That's why I think it's possible that he wouldn't notice that, because I don't think that. Okay, so another thing that came to my mind was too, I was like, how is it that Doc,
the banana and the donut with the jelly?
There's the best explanation right there.
Of the donut.
Oh my Lord, you gotta read that.
Don't have jelly filling in the donuts. Okay, I got it.
Oh my goodness.
That's the best explanation.
Thank you, Portuguese princess, for the very vivid explanation. I definitely understand. Oh, also, how is it that Brandon is not a virgin, but Nicola is?
Nicole's not no virgin. Come on now. We all know that. He's not a virgin.
He claims that he is saving himself for marriage and God. And I don't know. It just was weird to me. I was like, I feel like Brandon is very naive in the fact that he's been around the block. It was a little confusing to me. And also the fact that he thinks that Mary has not been around the block shows like his level of naive and how easy it is to convince him of things. Because she's 22 years old, right? And there's no chance that she has not, I don't know, see, that's going to come across. People are going to take that out of context. I don't want to say that, but it's very high possibility that she has definitely been around the block, right? Like, if he's been around the block, this guy, Brandon, right? Like, I don't want to say, but he's been around the block. Like, there's no chance. Like, she's definitely been around the block, and I think that he's very naive. The fact that he sent all this money for the house and didn't, like, get updates on what was being done with each check. You know, like, that shows his level of naive. Like, he was just like, oh, I'm just going to blindly send all this money. And she said that this is what's happening. And then kind of like what happened with TJ and Kimberly. Like, Kimberly, yeah, because I was like, that's kind of like what happened with her. She was just under the impression that the apartment looked good. And he was following the directions that she asked, and then she got there, and it wasn't. I kind of feel like that's what's going on with Brandon. And so, anyway, let's talk about TJ and Kimberly, because watching this episode with Kimberly was hard for me, because she gives me, all right, so Ariella vibes. Ariella and Biniam. Do you get Ariella vibes from her? Like a big, whiny baby, and like nothing is ever going to please her. I feel like Kimberly is going to end up back in the United States. There is no chance that she is going to be able to adapt to living in India with TJ and his family in that apartment. There's no chance. Like, maybe if she was to get her own place and they could live separately from his family, possibly, and then she would have to pick it out and probably have him build it himself. Like, there's no way. And the fact that she blew up so much over an unfinished apartment, there's clearly stuff that needs to still be done. So all she had to do was make notes of what she hated and say, hey, when they come back, let's correct these things. But the fact that she acted like such a spoiled American brat, it just really made me have a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, is this what people think that we act like in the United States? Because this is their representation of us, right? So I was like, he had to go to his family and like literally cry because she was so disrespectful. And apparently calling him a dick is like blasphemy in their country. And, you know, we use these words over here a little loose, right? Like, we use these words pretty loosely.
Okay, but wait, when she explains what dick means, it means testicles? No, it doesn't, girl.
Whoa, yeah,
what
that is right. That was confusing too. What the hell is she talking about? I was also screaming at the TV because I was like, so nobody, no producer or anyone said, hey, that's not what that means. Those are two different things. Like, where's the anatomy lesson here? What is she talking about?
Their sex life is going to be horrible.
If there is even a sex life, right? Like, because I was getting the Gino and Jasmine feel like, who's going to want to have sex with somebody who's like whining and complaining 99% of the day, right? Like, she is so whiny all the time.
When he asks if she wants the D and she's thinking she's going to get smacked in the face with some balls, it's going to be bad. It's going to be like, I didn't know that was.
Wow. Wow.
So, I do want to say this, though. I didn't like how he went to his family to complain about her, even though she was wrong and she needed this. I do think when you're married or you're in a relationship or I don't care what it is, you're seeing someone, every time you have a problem, don't go to other outside sources and complain about that person. Because look, they're going to be living together. Say this works out. They're going to be married. They're going to be living together with their family. His family. Well, it'll be all their family. And he's going to want them to get along. He's going to want his mom and brother and his brother's wife, them all to have a good relationship. So running to them the day she gets there and saying all of the horrible things that transpired between you two within that 2-hour period, they're never going to forget that she was speaking that disrespectfully, you know, in their culture. They're not going to forget. So let's say 6 months down the road, everything is good. TJ and Kimberly are happily married. They're thinking of having kids. The family still remembers when she acted like a horrible, terrible brat and was screaming and having a temper tantrum in their house. They're never going to forget that. So I always hate when people go directly to friends and family to complain about the person they're with. Only do that if you're going to break up.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's okay, because your friends, even like you tell your friend and then 2 months later, everything is fine. Then you all go out together and have dinner. Your friend is going to side-eye the person because they remember that conversation where that person was yelling at you and screaming at you and calling you names. Even though you've forgiven them 100%, things are fine. Your relationship is probably in the best place it's ever been in. Your friends and family are still looking at that person for what they did. So I didn't like the fact, it gave me submit vibes, right? Like I didn't like the fact that you went straight to his mom and started complaining to her. And I was like, no, because your mom and your wife need to be close, because in your culture, they're like this. So giving her a bad impression of her on the day she gets here, that's not going to help this. That's not going to help this at all. The relationship they need to build, you should only bring to your mom positive traits, because she already agreed to a love marriage, which they don't like to do. So don't give her a reason to doubt herself, you know?
He's already put a bad taste in their mouth. So, I mean, but you couldn't help but to hear them anyway. I mean, even when they were downstairs talking, you could still hear them talking. Like, so I'm just imagine if she's up there screaming at him, they're gonna know that they're fighting. But she didn't even acknowledge that, you know, he was trying to have it somewhat finished by the time she got there. She's so ungrateful. At least she had a bed to sleep in. I mean,
I would have just punched her in the face and called it a D.
I would have done punched her in the face so many times.
You know what? Over there, you might legally be able to do that.
Really?
I don't know. Don't quote me. I'm just joking. I don't know that. Don't quote me. I have no idea. Don't quote me. I was just
our ticket right now.
I don't know that. I was just joking. I was just, in some countries you can though, but I don't know that that's the case over there. I know, like in the
And then she was talking about how cold it was. There was no, you know, there's no windows or whatever. Well, put a blanket or a curtain or something over the window. Like, I mean, put on extra clothes, cover up, get a heating blanket. I mean,
she's been there 5 minutes. Okay? Like, I moved from Ohio to Florida. Like, the second I got here and I got off the plane and I was driving to my house, it was like 100 degrees, right? But I was like, I've been here 5 minutes. Oh, and then it took me over an hour to get here because of traffic. It's like, but I've been here 5 minutes. I'm not going to start complaining 5 minutes after I get here, right? And I feel like the second that plane hit the ground, those wheels hit the ground, she just started finding every issue she could find with being there. And she kept saying, this is what pissed me off. She kept saying, I've given up everything to be here. I'm giving up everything. I'm compromising so much. And I was like, nobody told you to do none of that. He literally said 5 minutes ago, don't marry me. Like, if that's how you really feel, why no one forced you? You were not forced. You were not intimidated. You were not held at gunpoint. You decided to leave your home where you were born and lived to come over here. I don't like that when they just keep saying that over and over, like, well, I did this for you, so you should do this for me. He did not ask you to leave everything. No one ever does that. People rarely will say, hey, will you give up your whole life and do this for me? People rarely do that. People come to agreements to do that, but not one person ever really asks another person, hey, will you quit your job, leave your life, leave your family, do everything, and just do this for me? No one does that.
But I mean, you know, in the meet in the middle situation, I feel like he's more than met in the middle. So you gave up your house and all that shit so you could move. Well, he took out a second mortgage so that he could build this place for you, you ungrateful little brat. I mean,
right? Like, 7 years. He's going to be paying on this. Because let's just say, worst case scenario, they don't even work out. He's still going to be paying on this apartment way after her.
Yep.
That's the initiative and compromise that he made, because he could have told her, you're gonna sleep on the floor next to my dad. That's exactly what he could have said. As long as there was a place for her to go, that was all of the effort he really had to show.
Yeah.
Right? It's not his responsibility to build her a house, from the ground up. He still took that initiative, took out a 7-year loan, put his own hard work in. She sent $0, by the way, towards this apartment that is hers. She's just entitled to the fact that somebody's supposed to build her an apartment. Like, everything about her rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I get strong Ariella vibes from her. Just that entitlement.
She was over there for like a year with him, so she knows what the culture is. She knows how they live. She knows how the homes are built. I mean, and his mom even said that that's not America, that the homes are built different over there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to, find, a nice home over there like you do here. So if she was over there for a year, she knows how the homes are built. She knows how everything is. She knows how the culture is. Why is it now just being a issue? It's a problem.
Yeah. She set an unreasonable expectation, and she had no reason to believe that it would, because we saw the part of the house where his family lived. It looked just the same as the apartment. So I'm trying to understand where her unreasonable expectation was. Maybe she was staying in like Airbnbs or hotels when she was there. I don't know. Like, why does she feel that the housing situation be different? The first time that she saw his family's home was not when she arrived to move in. I guarantee you that she has met his mother and been in that family home before. So where was these unreasonable expectations from? Like, where did she think that she was going to get a brand new build apartment that she was going to move into? And she had all of these lists of things that she wanted. And it was like, he's funding this out of his own pocket. Like, you're not sending him any money. You're not putting your money together, even though it's both of your apartment. You're not helping, right? It's just like, her expectations are ridiculous. And the fact that she was sitting on top of that desk like this, pouting. I was just like, she looks like a child.
Yep.
She literally looks like a grown adult child. She's sitting on this desk, angry, pouting in the middle of the room, pissed off because somebody built an apartment for her and it doesn't look good enough. I was like, you are really making us look bad.
Yep. Wearing a freaking onesie, crying like a baby. God.
Well, the sage didn't help her at all, because she was walking around saying, spreading love and light or something like that, or kindness or something other. I don't know what she was blabbering, but anyway, as soon as he walked in, and he was going to let the day before go, he was going to try to fix it. He walks up there, he tries to be nice to her, and she has a cocky attitude.
Yep.
And he even said that he offered during the night for her to go downstairs and sleep with him where it was warm. And she was like, no, because she didn't want to sleep in there with all 12 people. Well, you must not have been too cold.
Yep.
I mean, what was the thing about, Portuguese Princess, she said something like, he should have had toilet paper. So was there no toilet paper? I missed that part.
Yeah, she made the comment.
There's no toilet paper. The toilet didn't work. There's no running water.
Well, yeah, but
none of that.
All of the stuff in the family home worked, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, she could have just took her ass downstairs and used their bathroom and used their warm water, because he never said that the apartment was finished.
Yeah.
He never said that. He wanted to show her the progress that was made. Yep. He never said this was the finished product. And then he even said last week, he was like, if there's anything you want to change, let me know and we can change it. Still on his dime, she's not offering to pay nothing. He was still trying to make it better even the day before, because he was like, well, these are just regular everyday people who helped build this that I paid. I didn't hire a contractor or an engineer. This is just, they built an apartment on the roof of our house. You're not getting, a brand new structure. This is what you got. So if you want to change anything, he was going to say, look, go make a list of the things you want to change. I felt like she just wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Everything that he tried to do to diffuse the situation, she went and exasperated the situation worse. Because I was like, he's trying to make it better, And she's like, just acknowledge that you messed up. Acknowledge that you're not a good person. Acknowledge that you're ruining this, and acknowledge that I gave up. And I was like, you didn't give up anything, though. Like, he doesn't have to acknowledge that you gave up your life there because he didn't ask you to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like her attitude. And I feel like bringing him to tears within like 2 hours of arriving isn't a good sign.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good sign for a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
No, I mean, flat out, she's a narcissist. Because a narcissist always gaslights you and then tries to make it look like it's your fault and wants you to say you did or said something when you didn't.
She demanded him admit whatever she wanted him to admit. And that was definitely a narcissist move. It's like, if he hurt you, then he hurt you. He doesn't have to say it out loud. He already apologized.
Yeah.
He literally had already apologized. What's the point of admitting it now? He said, I'm sorry. He even offered for you to go and sleep where it was. Like, he already remedied the situation. So why do you need to have him admit anything? It's like she wants to be in control and in power. And I don't know how that's going to work, because in India, the women are very, very submissive to the men.
Yep.
So how are you going to be in control of him? That's not how it's going to work. Their relationships have never worked that way.
Nope.
Women are in control when they have sons. They're in control of those sons, but that's it.
Also, another thing she said was when she started throwing her fit, at the very beginning, and he was in there, she's like, I told him I was appreciative. He says I don't appreciate it. I told him I was appreciative. No, you never said anything. Never said.
She never said she was appreciative.
Nope.
She never said that. She said a lot of shit,
Yep.
but she never said, I appreciate anything that you've done. She literally said that the sink was outside the bathroom, that the doors were not the same length, that there was a window facing the bathroom. Hey, Kimberly, I have 2 windows in my bathroom. You know what I did? I put up curtains.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
It's really.
I bought some curtains, and now nobody has to watch me shower. That's how simple that was. You don't have to argue with anybody over it. You don't have to scream at anyone. You have to call anyone stupid. You go to the damn Walmart and you buy some curtains and you hang them up, and boom, you have a usable bathroom now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. And then, over there, the homes,
just throw a towel.
The homes aren't built like over here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she had expectations, which I don't know why, because she lived there for a year. She saw the conditions.
Yep.
You have to understand, if you're in a country and consistently you go different places and the conditions are the same, why would it be any different when you get there to live? The conditions are the same pretty much everywhere you go, unless you're in like a high-end hotel or, like a high-end rental property. Those conditions might be a little different, but those are usually unaffordable for people to just live in. That's for people who come to visit. Obviously, those people aren't adapting to conditions because money talks.
Yeah.
Everyone can't afford to live in those.
Yep, I agree.
Maybe she thought because she's from America, she was moving over there, that they would do things a little different. Well, if she's not liking the apartment, just imagine how she's going to flip a switch at the wedding.
Yep.
Yeah, the wedding that she did.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. The wedding no control over. Oh my God.
She's going to show up.
Because she's already saying that she didn't want to get married in a red dress.
Yep.
But all Indian women are, the Indian women that I know and what I've seen on TV, they get married in red dresses.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're beautiful. Dang, them dresses they're gorgeous.
Ah.
So
when she walks into this wedding, she's just gonna start picking it apart. I know it. Just the way she did to the apartment. She's gonna walk in and she's gonna like, I don't like the flowers, I don't like this, I don't like this, this is ugly. She's just gonna go out. And I feel like she's gonna offend the hell out of his family because they planned it, and it's gonna be according to their culture.
Yeah.
So her nitpicking that is going to leave a real bad taste in his family's mouth, because it's basically a direct shot at a person. When they do something and it's a direct representation of their culture and who they are, and you complain and you nitpick it, the mom is going to get really offended. Because you don't offend people's culture. And I feel like that's the one thing they withhold very strongly in India is their culture and who they are as a people and what they believe. So she's gonna rub the family. She already did rub the family the wrong way, but I feel like it's gonna get worse for the wedding, and then her family is gonna be there. And let's just say, if her family is anything like her, it's gonna get ugly really fast, right? It's gonna get ugly really fast.
Yeah.
That's gonna be some oil mixed in with water.
Yep.
Oh, Portuguese Princess says there's no Walmart there, so she'd have to go to the fabric store. There's no Walmarts at all? I thought they were like everywhere. I'm gonna have to Google that. That's crazy. I mean,
but even the fabric stores over there, I mean, India has got some beautiful clothing. Like, you know, I would wear it for a couple of minutes, but I would have to get out, you know, take it off really quick because I know it's heavy, it's thick. So
and it's super
and I don't like being hot.
It gets super hot over there.
But to show, you know, respect.
None.
Holy crap! There's no Walmarts.
Walmart is the world's largest retailer, but it is not currently present in the world's second most populous country in India.
Good
That
God.
right there, I couldn't live in India. I gotta go to Walmart.
I would pack my stuff. Like Walmart and a Target, that's non-negotiable for me, because sometimes I need a bunch of stuff and I don't want to go to a bunch of places, so I gotta have that, right? Like, that's non-negotiable for me. So maybe she really is compromising. She can't even go to Walmart.
Yeah.
But the fabrics there are gorgeous. They're beautiful.
Oh, there's Costco. There's Costco.
Oh, there's
Portuguese
Costco.
Princess says that there's a Costco. So Costco's basically a Walmart, right? Basically.
I've never been to a Costco, so I don't know.
It's kind of like a Sam's Club.
No.
Now, I love me some Sam's Club now, but I've never been.
Club? No, it's a wholesale, so you have to buy everything in huge amounts.
Oh,
so
no, that's not. Yeah, you're right. That's not a Walmart at all.
No, you want to go buy a bag of rice. You're getting 10 bags, not just
one. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's no good. Yeah, so still no. I'd have to pack my shit and go. Yeah. That's no good for me.
And you have to have a membership card.
So no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay. So this wedding is what's coming up next in their story. So I'm excited to see. Oh, we were supposed to get a new couple, but we didn't get them. So I'm assuming episode 5 is when we'll get the new couple. And then I watched the preview and I didn't see them. Did you see them in the preview? Yeah, so I was confused.
They've only showed them one time that I remember.
Yeah.
Right. I saw them on a post on Instagram. And that's the only time I saw them, right? It's like a dark-haired guy and a dark-haired woman, right?
I think he's from Russia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I don't know when we're going to meet them, but at some point we're going to meet them and we'll see what's going on with this new couple, because I'm excited for that. I feel like there's a lot of drama already. I feel like Brandon and Mary are probably going to carry the season, right? I feel like all this craziness between them. The fact that she wouldn't touch him, because I understand that they can't be intimate before marriage, but there's other stuff you can do. You know, I was raised in the church. I know there's other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that she didn't want to have nothing to do with him at all, it raised a red flag for me, because I feel like he's put a lot of money into her housing situation.
Well,
and I was
they
like,
also had all these kisses and stuff at the airport that are forbidden. But then when it's bedtime, they didn't even give each other a little kiss goodnight, no hug, no nothing.
It was like Cleo and Christian, right? Like, it was nothing.
Yep.
So I was like, what is happening here? Because she was watching him go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that she was so turned off by even the thought of looking, like, she didn't want to look over in the bed and see his face. She made him go all the way on the other end. So like, this is interesting. Yeah, but Cara, didn't you say that you thought that she already had a boyfriend who was one of those boys that she was friends with? So I don't know. We're gonna revisit your theory, I think, later in the season.
Yeah. Shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah, I think it is. And you know, we know that his mom dropped the ball and posted wedding photos, but it doesn't mean that they're still married. That's just what happened when those photos took place. So we don't know like what they're doing right this second.
Yeah.
But we do know that it happened, but I'm pretty sure it had to happen, because wouldn't he have to be married to her to stay there?
Probably.
so it had to happen. So I don't know if he's in America or over there or what. So I'm ready to see what's going on. And I feel like this season, between Kenny and Armando and Johan and Danielle, I think I'm focused more on the new people.
Oh, yeah.
The new drama, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm more excited about the new drama. You know, I like Kenny and Armando, but they don't got no real problems. And Danielle and Johan have way too many problems to even pretend to love each other. So I'm just more focused on the new people.
So she said for giving me gay vibes. One thing that I saw, I think it was Mac and Chisme that posted it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it was 90 Day Sips of Real Tea or something. Did you see the names of the friends? It was their actual names are Puddin' and Jello.
Wait, I missed that.
That's what I said. I was like, how did I not see that?
See, that's something I should have caught right away.
Me too.
Puddin' and Jello. Okay. So Portuguese Princess thinks that they were giving her gay vibes. I got that too.
Yeah.
But I've spent time in LA and I know that doesn't exist. Like, depending on where you are, like, you just don't know. So I was like, I don't know. The fact that because if they were and she was hiding them from Brandon, it didn't make sense, right? Because I was like, the fact that she has to pretend like she doesn't hang out with them makes me think that they're not gay.
Yeah.
Because if they were, what does it matter? They don't want her.
Yeah.
Like, they literally don't want her. Like, if they were, who cares? They can hang out with her all day, all night. Nothing's going to happen. They're not interested.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be an explosion too whenever he finds out that she used that as a excuse that the internet went out. And not only did she do that, but she cut her phone off, so if the internet got plugged back in, her phone wouldn't cut back on. So
she got
been lying to Brandon.
Yeah, she got to control how long the blackout was. Yeah. Because as long as her phone never came back on, he thought that she was still offline. So yeah, she's very controlling and manipulative, which I think is interesting because she wants to act all innocent. And I can see right through it, right? I can just see right through it.
It's going to be interesting how many times the power goes out while he's there.
Right? That's what I was going to say. I was like, he needs to monitor the blackouts while he's there so he can see that she's a liar. She's a liar. She's making this stuff up. But I think that she picked him because of how naive he is. I think that she had her pickings. I think that she could have gotten a different American guy. But I think he was an easy target because he's easy to manipulate. And with his family situation and his mom and growing up without his mom and being homeless and living I think he is someone that you can tell something and make them believe something easier than someone who hasn't been through those things.
Yeah.
I think that.
That's what I was going to say earlier, is he's so easy to be manipulated because he wants to be accepted so bad.
Yeah.
That he's willing to go through anything and to believe anything that anybody says, and that's really sad.
It is. He wants to be in love, and he wants that relationship so bad, and I think she took advantage of that. She took all that money from him to build a house that we know she didn't spend all that money on a house. Like, I think that she picked him because he was a target that she could get the most out of.
Yeah.
And I hate that because he wants to be happy in a relationship and have a family so bad. He's the type of person who would overlook a lot of things as long as he can have that. And I think she's taking full advantage of that. She wants to pretend like she's all innocent and she's not a virgin and she's just not ready. She's full of it. I'm just telling you right now, she's full of it.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, guys.
And even if there's not a blackout, he probably is going to forget all about the blackouts. And then she's probably going to say, oh, well, we haven't had bad weather. Well, whenever he was in America, y'all had bad weather all the time.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
Right? Twice a week. Yep. Yeah. Like, what happened?
Yep.
So maybe he'll start putting two and two together. If not, then whenever the tell-all comes, it's all going to come out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He'll be able to see firsthand what was going on while he was sitting at home waiting for her to come back online. He'll know what was going on. I'm excited for that, but we went over a lot today. It's interesting because this episode was good, but I know it was that good. We went over a lot. So we'll be back next Sunday for Before the 90 Days, because all the people who weren't on this week will be back. So Amanda and Razvan, Misha and Nicola, and Tyree is gonna meet somebody. I don't know, somebody. So we're gonna be back for that. I'm excited for that. Thank you guys for joining.
Yes.
Please follow my co-host Dee Dee and Cara. They're tagged in this video. Also, follow me at George Mossey on all platforms, georgemossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in The George Mossey Show. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll talk to all of you guys Sunday. Bye.
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 Bye.